Hi guys, for my first video on YouTube I'm gonna paint ozostium aranthus, aka Ozzy. But let's start with gap filling the base, because between the rubble of the miniature and the base that is supplied with it, there's gaps, and we don't like those because that's gonna make the model look unnatural. For this I used a texture paint. They are perfect for this kind of job. They fill the gaps and they also give you extra texture that will take paint and other products perfectly as we move along. I will also add 2 skulls to this, because skulls are needed in the 40k universe. Because this is a grimdark place, this is Necromunda, this is where gangs roam and rule your life, supported by the aristocracy. And also, skulls are true, skulls are metal, skulls are cool. I like painting skulls, so I like to put as many skulls as I can on everything, because why not? You should also like skulls. If you don't like skulls, who are you? Now I've base coated the model, and I'm going in with a blue color from below and also all around at the bottom, because I want this cold color to be the base of my model. This will give us a very nice transition over to the warmer tones that I'm going to put now from the right side of the model. This is going to be a reddish brown. It's going to be a warm focusing highlight. But to counter that, on the other side of the model I'm going in with a green. These colors will add ambiance to the model and also the atmosphere. They will also be the basis for all the colors that we're going to put on this in the future. And now onto the skin. I actually forgot to film when I put on the dark pink on his skin, but I think you guys can understand how I did that. It's kind of easy, just bash it on there. Then I'm adding some sunny skin tone and also some light gray to this mixture gradually to add some highlights onto his skin. This is a very non-well character because he's full of metal parts. He's part robot supported by this armored exoskeleton sort of thing. So I went for a sort of a sickly, inflamed, irritated skin tone, with a lot of warm colors, but it also ends up with the highlights being sort of desaturated to add to that creepiness. I really like doing this for models that are obviously not in their physical peak, because why not? And also this will sort of contrast with the rest of the stuff, because the armor is going to be a sort of an NMM golden yellow thing that is also kind of desaturated in a lot of places. So his skin will actually stand out from his armor a lot in the end. This was, because I am who I am, because I paint the way I do, a happy accident. I love happy accidents. That's the whole thing. I do not always plan out some of the things that I do, because I am not a star painter. I'm not the best guy on the planet. This is for me, and I do these things because I want to do them, not because it's going to look the best for a display piece or for competitions or stuff like that. I just want to do it because I want to do it. And that's the whole philosophy going through my paint jobs, is I just want to do things that I think look cool. And now we're starting to see more of that light gray tone coming in, desaturating that pinkish skin color, and also brightening a lot of it, so it's going to look very, very bright. But this is going to be a part of the process, because when you add all the other colors onto this, it's going to look normal and better, but sickly because of reasons. Also remember that it's very important that when you're highlighting things, you always paint an area that is smaller than the area that came before. This way you get a nice transition between the colors. And now it's time to start with the NMM armor, or sort of NMM armor. This is a highly shiny yellow color at least. I start off with the sort of darker brown color in the set, and I put a lot of dilution into this to make it transparent. Then I just add a lot of layers of the same color, building up the opacity as I go. And this is to make the transition look smooth. I'm not a great painter, like I said, but this will help. Remember to always paint the edges as well when you're doing these sort of highly gloss surfaces. That will help with making the effect look more real. That is very important when it comes to NMM. The shininess comes from the contrast between light and dark, and also the sharpness of the colors. By layering up slowly, by glazing this, you get that feeling. Also, it's important to keep all the small details, like you will see the small bolts and nuts and things on his armor. Those are very, very crucial to paint as well, and not skip over them or put a lighter color around them. You need the contrast between them. And that will make this armor sell very nicely. The other thing I really think people should look at when they're painting NMM is the, what I call like on. It's a sort of a weird way of describing it, but you always have a very dark color next to a very light one. And this could also be, I think, contrasting colors, like the blue and yellow. You have a blue and color next to the yellow, it's going to make it look shiny. By always having that sharp dark line up against the brighter part will make it look at least plastic, but also highly gloss in a way. And it doesn't have to look real. This is also an important part of my ideas when I do these things. The message of the rule of cool, you guys know the rule of cool, right? The rule of cool, it says that the cool things stay. This is not supposed to be realism, it's just supposed to be a cool thing that I like. And it's gonna look cool on the table, it's gonna look good on the table. And that's the important part, because I don't paint for competitions usually. I only do it like 99% of the time I paint for playing with my models. So this is a tabletop piece, and from like an arm's length away, this is gonna look really, really nice. Again, a note here that it's very important to always paint a smaller area when applying highlights. You can see that on the thigh here that I'm going into those really, really small areas, and also I'm doing every single edge is going to get highlighted, and this is just going to do a lot for the glossiness and the shininess of the so-called metal. I don't think this is NMM really, but it's gonna look nice. And you can also see that I am leaving the blue and the brown from the base coats visible in the recesses and other parts where I don't paint. This is part of the idea that we're building the ambiance. One final note on this NMM area here. I am going to go back in and refine everything after I've done the footage, because painting while filming is kind of a different experience. It's very difficult to get those small tiny details. I also painted the rest of the armor while not on camera. And a small time jump later, the armor is done. It's time for the silvery steel parts of this thing. And I started off using a mixture between the dark blue color and also some of the lighter blue color to get a mid-tone pretty much, because I left the dark reddish brown in the bottom, because I really enjoyed it. And I do the same thing on the other side with the green as well, and I did that with the yellow armor. I left the green in the recesses and in the shades and shadows, because it's gonna give that look of different colors that I sort of like with this. Doing it this way though was kind of dumb. I should have painted the steel parts before I did the gold, but I'm a chaos player at heart, some of you know that, and that's why I can't just do things normally. I have to do it the chaotic way. The smart way would have been to do the steel parts first, to keep from touching the yellow with my gray colors. Luckily, I did sort of have a good day with my brush, so I didn't do that, but for your own sakes, go from the inside out, so skin, clothes, armor, etc. And just as we did with the yellow armor, here we are going over smaller and smaller areas, always looking to get it sort of shiny looking. That's meaning that we have to also be kind of aware of where the light is coming. I'm choosing a colorful lighting pretty much from above. It's not that difficult on this one, but it's very important that you always do the brightest highlights towards the source of light. If you don't, it's going to be a little bit weird. But also, when it comes to metals like this, you will get secondary highlights from the casts of light from sort of things that are around the area that you're painting. So on the bottom half of this round thing on his knee, you will still have a highlight because it's got a secondary light source in the shiny yellow part below it. So that gets like a cast-off light that gives it sort of a highlight, but not perhaps as sharp as the top one. It is hard to explain, and it's a lot easier just to say like that it looks good to do it, and it does look good, I guess. So that's why I do it. And here I am just going in and doing some tiny highlights. There's some small dots of light gray that I put in. There, you'll notice that there's no white being used on this entire model. I don't know why I did that, but it works with this light uniform gray, I think it is from Army Painter. It just works. And we're on to the cloak and cloth. I can tell you right now, I did not finish this on camera because I had a kind of a bad day and I didn't feel like messing everything up. But I start off with the purple color, and that is because it's going to be a really nice base for the red. It's going to make the red look very smooth and satin, silky sort of thing. It's going to be adding a lot of that nice feel, because this guy is the like patriarch of this planet. He's the godfather. He's the king. So he definitely has the means to have some really nice cloth, and it's not going to be like dirty or worn out or something like that. So to get that very nice heavy feel, the purple actually helped a lot. And when I'm done with this purple, I'm also going to do pretty much like the same thing that I did on the yellow armor. That's really diluting my paint and doing several layers of glazes of red across this entire thing. That helps build up this really nice deep red, and you're not gonna have to highlight this with any other color really. The red in itself, which is the pure red from the Army Painter Air range, it's gonna have this nice feeling to it once it's on there really, really nicely, and the depth of it is achieved. I can't stress enough how much I like the way the cloth actually turned out in the end, because it looks regal without being purple, because purple was a regal color back in the day, but I wanted a red one because of the green color and also the blues in the basis of the armor and the rest of the miniature, to make it just pop out from that. And I think I managed. What do you think? Drop me a comment if you think I made it, or if I really messed it up. I don't know. Hit me up. Tell me I'm right or wrong. And here I've started glazing in that red color, and as you can see, it's going to take a lot of layers to get this to look like a red, which is the point. This actually takes a lot of time, even though it's a simple color. It's just red over purple, but it's worth it if you do this correctly. And I'm not telling you to paint like I do. That would be against one of my principal rules. But if you would do it this way, you will get a really, really rich, nice red color. And on to the sword. This sword is a very special kind of shape. There's a lot of weird shapes in it. I did not realize this until I actually started looking at it, that it's sort of like two half blades welded together at the base, sort of, or something like that. Which means that it's gonna have some weird highlights and stuff. I really kept it simple. I have sort of a basic shape thing I do when I do NMM power sword weapons and such like that, and it's just a simple shade here, black there, light there, black there, on opposite sides of the middle of the sword. And as you can see, that's pretty much what I do. And I use a very, very stark contrasting color. The base of this color is actually the dark blue that I used for the armor as well, but I'm just adding this very, very bright highlight to it to start off building up where the shapes are and seeing where the highlights are, and I can then glaze in the transitions better into the darker blue. This is just so I can get a feeling for how the sword is supposed to look, or how the weapon is supposed to look if I'm not painting a sword. And then I can start adding lighter highlights. You can see this is very, very rough right now. That's like a 4 nuances jump up to the very, very light blue. And when I do these things, I'm always worried, is this gonna look good, or is it gonna look like totally, totally horrible? But then I remember, yeah, every paint job has an ugly face, and that's very important that you keep that in mind when you paint, whatever you paint, that it might not look perfect while you're doing it, but in the end, if you keep on going, if you keep on doing it and you push through, you will get a result that you like. And if you don't like it, keep on pushing. And also, it's always for you and not for other people, so if the others don't like it, then they can do their own version. As the end of the video is now approaching, this is the time where I remind you to like and subscribe for more content, but I'm not going to force you. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It will be very appreciated by me. And also, if you have anything you want to ask or any suggestions of future videos, put a comment in the comment section. I will read them all. Thank you guys, and goodbye. Enjoy your evening or day or whatever it is where you are. And here is a weird sort of thing with aranthus on a plate of Necromunda terrain that I had at home.